Comment what do all of these Latin American teams have in common. Yes, they all won the Copa Libertadores, but if you take a closer look, you will see they only did long time ago and never again. Let's take Independiente for example. They got 7 cups, but the last one, 1984. In a bar with fans, they would claim themselves as the biggest team in the continent. But if you take their 4th cup in 1974 and have a look at its fixture, you will see something interesting. Like, that's pretty original, isn't it? The greatest team in the continent. Champions in the Copa Libertadores used to earn a spot in the next season's semifinals. This helped quite a few teams get more cups than they should nowadays. But some teams fail to win the thing despite having this privilege. How do you count a victory like this? This table presents the number of games the champions played on average when they won the Copa Libertadores. So yes, we have a winner, Boca Juniors. They won the most copas with the most amount of games, meaning they had the hardest time, right? They are like the greatest of all time. But then you see the list of Boca's Libertadores titles, and it's been a while. But I insist, I mean the greatest of all time. Instead, if we go back to the table and analyze, for example, River Plate, Boca's biggest rival, you'll realize about something interesting. While River got less amount of titles, they did throughout the different eras of the Copa, the 80s, the 90s, the 2010s, and 2018. Instead, Boca only did in the early beginnings and in the first half of the 2000s. I mean, the Boka Myth can be summarized in 7 years. Without this time, they would be much more of a regular club. So what are we? Who is the greatest? Well, the answer resides in our definition of greatness. You probably agree with me that this concept is ambiguous. I mean, different teams can be just as great in different ways. So come with me and let's break this concept down in 2 parts. Firstly, we have respect. It can be seen as your potential rival's unwillingness to face you. You have a good team, you play good football, and you're likely to knock out most teams. In the other hand, we have your legacy. Your legacy is what your club inherits from past glories. Humans have this thing of changing behaviors when joining groups. Some players in this kind of clubs overperform in key moments because they inherited, throughout the years, this extra power that their legacy unlocks them. If we go back to our comparison between River and Boca, Boca is mostly legacy and River, respect. Great clubs don't need to rely on their team to be relevant. They sometimes win because they have an unexplainable advantage. River, on the other hand, is respected, which means that you don't want to face them most of the time. But if their team is strong, they are weak. Recently, Boca got to a Copa Libertadores final with a team that wouldn't get past the quarterfinals, while River consistently got to quarter and semi-finals, but didn't reach the title because they rely exclusively on their strong teams. And let's be honest, against Brazilian teams, that's getting too hard. And with a market that's growing non-stop, clubs not only need to win titles, but to communicate culture and attract bigger audiences. Just like your business. Explaining complex ideas takes creativity, and I'm your tool to achieve this. If you're looking for motion art or graphic design services, hit me up and let's do great things together. This is also a great moment for you to subscribe to the channel. Often, teams like Peñarol, Boca, or Independiente are undervalued because they won a lot of trophies long time ago, and now they aren't succeeding. But that's because they currently rely exclusively on their legacy. This is why the number of titles of a club does count, as it provides them with an unmeasurable amount of aura that others just won't inherit and have to make up for with better teams, sometimes still falling short. See, we have a tendency of disrespecting the past of our sport, for the most part, because the people who participated in it are gone and can't defend themselves. Jacob Wexkull, a biologist, back in the early 1900s, developed an idea called the Umwelt. It basically means everything that's around you. But to me, it's more like everything that's around you and has a meaning to you. For example, to an Argentinian fan, a game against England has a huge symbolic meaning because of the war that happened between these two nations. while to a Brazilian fan, it's just another regular football match. What Black School didn't know was that his idea applied to the Copa Libertadores. See, no matter how much effort we put into describing what greatness is, the only truth is that priorities change across generations, and today's football is completely different to the one from the 60s. As a consequence, we end up getting confused or thinking that some teams had a simpler journey to conquer the Copa Libertadores. In reality, tournament formats are a direct consequence of the general agreement of the question: how do we measure the best? And back in the 60s, it included beating the champions in the semifinals. Nowadays, it's winning as many games as you can against random qualified teams. What's factual is that in all of the years that had a Copa Libertadores from 1960 to 2025, the champions were considered the strongest side of the continent. And that's because, despite all the debate that surrounds the formats, the Copa Libertadores prestige has been consistently the same, thing that allows me to make this video. However, we live in the present time, and spending hours and hours debating about who is the best team out of two whose last title was in 1987 is very mediocre. We fans are supposed to demand our teams to respect the legacy that they inherited and to expect progress. The 2018 Boca River final held in Madrid will forever be remembered as one of the most legendary clashes in the history of the Copa Libertadores. Not because River and Boca are traditional rivals, but because it was a clash of two different approaches to becoming the best. So the answer is up to you. What do you think the greatest is? Let me know in the comments down below, as it will help me reach more Copa Libertadores enthusiasts like you. Comment, subscribe, like, and living. See you.